Premier of the Northwest Province, Lazarus Kagiso Mokgosi, accompanied by the MEC for Community Safety and Transport Management, Wessels Morweng, on Tuesday had a successful meeting with the delegation of the South African National Taxi Council, SANTACO Northwest. The session dealt thoroughly with many issues affecting the industry in the province. Here is the Premier on the highlight of the meeting.
As we were looking at the funding, because we are of the view that the funding we are giving to the taxi industry is not enough, because they have to deal with regional allocations, provincial allocations. It also amounts to having them to have programs that speaks to empowerment and so forth. And we agreed that they did submit a business plan to us. We will be revisiting the business plan and adjust it to a more appropriate, affordable business plan. But we also spoke about our monitoring system as a department as it relates to conflict management and conflict resolution in the province. Whether is it effective, is it efficient, where are the gaps, and we finally agreed that there is a need further discussions around that, because we need a smaller team that will look at the efficiency on how are we dealing with conflict resolution in the taxi industry. And we all acknowledge that there has been less violent situation in the province. The environment has been conducive, and therefore we need to sustain. And as we sustain, our conflict resolution should be more efficient. We also talked about the systems that we have in as far as issuing of operating license, whether do we have options and sustainability when the power is down or the system is down. And the whole exercise was how to improve services to our people. But the most important thing which they were concerned of was this 7-seater story, that there is an illegal operation around the province of people who are not operating with licenses, people who have 7-seaters, and they are all over our towns and so forth. And as a result, this affects their businesses. We have since made a commitment that we are going to engage our law enforcement agencies, including our traffic officers, and have joint operations to deal with this. But also on a day-to-day basis, our sub-district must focus on changing their operational plans in terms of focus. On a day-to-day, have targets that speaks to the 7-seater story. Lastly, we spoke also on commuter buses, where they are supposed to have a stake. As a taxi industry, we discussed the percentages and negotiations as we are renegotiating the contract also. But they also raised a concern on us giving permits to private business people who are having taxis, who are transporting children to different schools outside scholar transport dedicated routes, because they are not licensed, they are being impounded, they are being given fines, and they believe strongly that if they don't do that exercise, our children will not be able to go to schools. And then they said we must relook in terms of how we deal with transportation of children to schools, especially those who are not on dedicated scholar routes, because that service is needed. It's private arrangement with parents, but our traffic officers are impounding and giving them fines. We have said in the next meeting we'll look into that and see how do we assist in that regard.
Ebu Santladi is the chairperson for SANTACO in the Northwest Province.
Having a meeting with the Premier today, in fact it was a follow-up meeting, because the first meeting we presented issues with the MEC. Then today was responses from our sector department of COSATMA. The meeting went very well. We were pleased about the manner in which the meeting went on. All matters that we raised have been responded to. There will be follow-up meetings with regard to all issues that we have raised. We hope and trust that as per the resolutions taken today, the industry will go forward. Definitely, the taxi operators very soon they will be happy when the implementation will be starting.